Today we got the Mermaid and Barnacle Boy theory. Let's get into it. If you're new here, subscribe, like the video.
The Mermalair, fake. The Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show, staged. And this isn't even the real Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They were replaced by the creators of their show a long time ago to make more money. And this all happened because of their origin story. So join me as we discover the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy theory.
I never watched the regular show. I always watched Phineas and Ferb and Teen Titans. Hey, look, regular show is the best Cartoon Network cartoon of all time. You hearing it from me first. I might still do a regular show video. I just need to pick another one from the one we was just doing, because that one was boring. Like, he was too monotone. It kind of sounded like AI, kind of not. So I'm gonna do another regular show video after this. But I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, let's go back. Bro, he is a person. He don't got no type of mask on and he's underwater. I don't know why I never thought about that ever in my life. Like, he literally is underwater, bro. You are not a octopus. You're not a fish. How are you doing this? Sandy even wear a helmet and she an animal.
Origin story. So join me as we discover the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy theory.
Oh my gosh.
So Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are the local superheroes who for whatever reason have a TV show. Technically, they have two TV shows. Their first show was called The Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and it ended after they retired. But after coming out of retirement in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, they got their new show called The New Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. So right away, there's a pretty big question to ask. Did they retire from being superheroes or from being actors? Now, I know what a lot of you must be thinking. Of course they retired from being superheroes, that's literally what they are. But then, why does SpongeBob say this?
Arch nemesis of famed television superheroes Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy!
Television superheroes. That's what SpongeBob calls them, basically confirming that they're only superheroes on TV. But this isn't a one-time thing. In the episode Have You Seen This Snail, he says the exact same thing again.
Arch nemesis of my favorite TV superheroes Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy!
But
hold on, okay. That could just mean, well, not the first time he said TV superheroes, and then this time he said my favorite TV superhero. So that could just mean like they are actual superheroes, but they was in the TV show too. I'm not really sure. I don't know, but they build is crazy.
How is this possible? We see them use their superpowers and crazy weapons all the time. Well, it turns out most of what we see is part of their show. Let me explain. So, in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3, SpongeBob and Patrick have to take care of their lair. Inside the Mermalair, we see their weapons and all their technology. And also this frozen man ray. Remember this because it's gonna come up later. But there's something in this episode that's different. Something we haven't seen before. At the start of the episode, we see this intro.
The New Adventures of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy!
Seems pretty normal to introduce the superheroes. But wait, we've seen this intro before. Back in their first episode, it was the intro to their new show. What's it doing at the start of us?
Yeah, maybe they have their own show to make bread or something. Well, let's just think about this real quick. Patrick don't have no job, but he still have a house. So, money ain't really even the thing. Oh, and he be at the Krusty Krab. I never seen him pay for a Krabby Patty. And Squidward is the one that gives them to him. So, I don't know. Just think about this. Mr. Krabs don't play about his money. But I never seen Patrick pay for one. And he eats a lot of them. So, I don't really... Maybe money isn't, like, that important. Like... For some characters, it is like Mr. Krabs. Other other people is not like Patrick. So yeah, I don't know why they could have this show then. And then we seen that dude frozen in the tank. That I feel like that's gonna be very important. The video did say pay attention to it. So
SpongeBob episode. Well, if this is an intro to their new show, then this has to be an episode of that show. I mean, they literally use the exact same intro.
Nah,
It's kind of like
facts. Squidward and SpongeBob don't even get no break. They not getting no lunch. They not getting a break and free lunch on top of that. So yeah, I see what you mean.
the episode Bad Guy Club for Villains, but with no lore behind it. We're just watching a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode and that's it. As for SpongeBob and Patrick, yeah, I really can't explain that. I mean, the heroes know them personally, so there's probably some connection there. So it turns out every time we see an episode with this intro, it's part of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show. This means that this entire episode is part of their show, and this isn't even a one-time thing. In the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5, we again see the exact same intro at the start of the episode. But there's another thing that reveals if an episode is part of their show: the narrator. Usually in the episodes we hear the French narrator, but in a few episodes there's a completely different guy. In fact, he's the same narrator from the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show.
I hope you're securely seated and sufficiently hydrated. We join our heroes locked in a battle of wits. We join Bikini Bottom's noblest, boldest, oldest. In a familiar restaurant, in a familiar part of town, a call goes out in frustration.
And this reveals one key detail. Whenever we hear this narrator, that episode is also part of their show. And looking throughout the series, episodes where they use their superpowers and weapons start to make a bit more sense. But that doesn't mean that they're actors. They could still be real superheroes with a TV show. Well, there's someone we haven't looked at yet: the villains. In the episode Mermaid Man vs. SpongeBob, Plankton is watching a commercial for the Krusty Krab. In the commercial, the superheroes are fighting Man Ray and losing. Just as they're about to lose, Mermaid Man starts talking about the Krusty Kids meal, which Man Ray likes for some random reason. The commercial ends with the heroes defeating Man Ray, who keeps praising the meal.
This may be the last ad you ever see, because with the free ad block extension from Capital One Shopping, you can...
We're getting somewhere. Cause he said they fighting, then he bring up the crap. What the freak, bro? The Krusty Krab kids meal, and Man Ray, for some reason he just so in love with them that not only did they escape off the little machine that they was finna get chopped up in, they tied him up. Yeah, this ain't gonna lie, it's looking like a show. It's looking like just a show with a commercial. The Krabby Pat, what the freak, bro? My speech. Oh, it's an ad for the Krusty Krab. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, Mr. Krab sponsored with them. Dang, so Mr. Krab has to have some connection to this because he's the boss. But ads cost money. I know he gave them like a penny for this ad and they still did it anyway.
Here's a question. If Man Ray was a real supervillain, why would he act in a commercial with the guys that he hates? Also, why would he agree to lose? This is the single biggest issue with Man Ray being a real villain. Now, unfortunately, every other time we see Man Ray, it's part of their show, so we can't confirm if he's a villain or an actor. But this entire time, we've been looking at the present. What about the past? So looking at the past, there's two main episodes to look at. The first episode is Back to the Past. In the episode, SpongeBob, Patrick, Mermaid Man, and Barnacle Boy travel to the past. There, they see the younger superheroes fighting Man Ray. But when Patrick eats all the tartar sauce and goes to the future with SpongeBob, Man Ray ends up taking over the world. After they realize something is wrong, they end up taking the younger superheroes, who are old now, to the past to stop Man Ray. Eventually, because of all the time problems, they end up defeating Man Ray and the episode ends. Now, this part gets really confusing, so just please pay attention.
Okay.
So if Man Ray took over the world, how can he be an actor? Well, listen closely to what Man Ray says here.
Once again, your buffoonery has given me victory!
Now, it may not seem like it, but this single line actually gives away a lot of information. So right away, what does...
Hold on, he said once again your buffoonery. So he could be talking about when they went back to the past. Like SpongeBob and Patrick went back to the past. Them doing that messed up the timeline, and somehow he took over the world. But if they fixed it, how would he remember that? Or maybe I'm reaching.
What does Man Ray mean by once again? He's never beaten the superheroes before, or he would have taken over the world a long time ago. Well, when he says once again, I think he's referring to the first time he beat the heroes when Patrick ate all their tartar sauce. But he shouldn't know that this happened. When
See?
SpongeBob—
Oh my gosh, I just cooked. That's what I'm saying. If they went back in time, messed it up, and fixed it, how would he know that even happened? I just cooked. I can't believe that.
and Patrick traveled back in time, they came before Patrick ate the sauce, meaning that Man Ray hadn't yet defeated the heroes. In fact, because they time traveled and messed with the past, that event never ended up happening. So how does he know he's already defeated them once before? Well, the only way he would know is if he was acting in an episode. Because if he was an actor, then they would have filmed before, including the scene where he first beat them. But that's not the only thing that hints towards this episode being staged. Towards the end of the episode, one of the SpongeBobs mentioned that they've come back to the day when evil was defeated forever. So this would mean that after this day, Man Ray was defeated and would never be a problem again. But their original plan was to trap him in tartar sauce. How would that defeat him forever? Well, remember when we saw Man Ray trapped in tartar sauce in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3? Well, I think this directly happened after the heroes beat Man Ray.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so look. Let's recap. So boom. SpongeBob and Patrick ate all the tartar sauce. He's gluttonous for that. Who's eating tartar sauce by itself? Boom. Man Ray beats Mermaid, both of them. He beats both of them, right? And then he takes over the world. SpongeBob and Patrick, they go back in time. They stop this from happening. 1, 2, pour the tartar sauce on Man Ray. And that's why he's trapped in that tartar sauce thing. But I got a question now. If he's trapped in tartar sauce, is there 2 Man Rays? Am I tripping? Doesn't Man Ray still be walking around here trying to do bad stuff?
After they put him in the sauce, they froze him forever until SpongeBob and Patrick would free him. But because the two messed with time, Man Ray ended up getting arrested instead of being trapped in tartar sauce. In fact, Mermaid Man specifically mentioned that he would be going to jail.
You'll have plenty of time for thinking in the stony lonesome.
So because this happened in the past, they should have found Man Ray in a jail cell instead of in the tartar sauce, which they didn't.
What? See, I'm confused.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn digital.
It appears to be some sort of prison chamber.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. So that means there's 2 Man Rays, or this one is a robot. That's what they look like 10 seconds before the ad. Hold on. We gotta uncover this.
Made out of frozen tartar sauce.
So at this point, we've gotten some pretty decent proof of the show being staged, but the episode Bad Guy Club for Villains pretty much confirms that their shows are all acted out. In the episode, SpongeBob and Patrick watch a lost episode of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show. At the end of the episode, we see the end credits, including the writers. What's interesting is that SpongeBob calls them end credits, suggesting that he knows that the show is staged. So at this point, it's pretty obvious that their show is not based on their real lives. And because it's staged, a lot of their activities around town start to make a bit more sense. Like, for example, in the episode Captain Pipsqueak, the evil gang tried to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula. What's interesting is that this Every Villain is Lemons alliance was first made in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5, which is also a staged episode. This would mean that the episode Captain Pipsqueak is part of their show, because the alliance was made in their TV show and it wouldn't make sense for it to exist in real life. Also, the narrator showed up by the end of the episode, so it's 100% staged. And this is a pretty common occurrence in episodes like Shuffleboarding, Delivery of Doom, The Dirty Bubble Returns, and The Dirty Bubble Bass. The villains do something evil, but it's all part of an episode of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy show, so it's all staged. We even see daily residents watch the show in episodes like Patrick Man, Captain Pipsqueak, and Ditchin', showing that the show is made locally and actually aired on TV. Now, while all the episodes make sense, there's
Man, we got 11 minutes left, so he gotta say something that's just gonna be groundbreaking. But what's it called? Bro. So all of this is cap. Like, obviously we're watching it, we know it's cap, but SpongeBob talking about those are end credits. End credits, I thought this was real life. Like, so they just are the entertainment. I think Patrick actually does want to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula though. I think that's not staged, but maybe it could be. Nobody trying to eat at that Dookie chum bucket, bro. You don't need to eat that. What is even chum made out of? We gotta figure that out. That might be my next SpongeBob video. It all makes sense, but why would the writers of a kid's show all this complex stuff? I don't know. I guess to just give people like him video ideas and give people like me something to react to. But it's a lot of stuff like the Krabby Patty. I'm tripping. The Krusty Krab is a crab trap, and the Krabby Patties are made out of crabs. Cause notice, the only crabs you see is Mr. Crab and his mom. Matey, yeah, Matey. Thank you for the live. Thank you for liking the live. But yeah. It makes sense.
just one that doesn't add up. One where the villain is truly evil and it's not part of their show. I'm talking about the episode Super Evil Aquatic Villain Team Up is Go. In the episode, Man Ray works a normal job but can be hired as a villain team, and there's just one that doesn't add up. One where the villain—
Nah, Larry is a lobster. So it could be like they use lobsters too, because I only seen one lobster in the whole show. But I don't know, maybe a lot of lobsters don't live there. He from somewhere where it is a lot of lobsters, but he just moved to the Krusty Krab. But I'm like 99% sure Mr. Krab has killed all the crabs, and they are in that freezer, and SpongeBob is cooking them. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 9 out of 10 times sure.
villain is truly evil and it's not part of their show. I'm talking about the episode Super Evil Aquatic Villain Team Up is Go. In the episode, Man Ray works a normal job but can be hired as a villain. Plankton hires him to steal the secret formula. While he doesn't hurt anyone, his intent was there and he only stopped because he likes Krabby Patties. So what's the deal? Is Man Ray somehow a real villain after all? Well, there's one moment in this episode that still backs that they're all actors. After Man Ray and Plankton hold Krabs and Squidward hostage, SpongeBob has to get Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy to help. He goes to the retirement home to ask to see the heroes. But after explaining everything to the workers, they throw him out, calling him crazy.
Sorry, kid, this is a retirement community, not an insane asylum.
If the heroes were real heroes and Man Ray was a real threat, then they would have let SpongeBob go through. But because none of that is true, they think he's crazy. So
Walmart Plus in-home with Frankie.
Hi, Frank.
Okay, I just started something
While
else.
you're away, a friendly Walmart Plus in-home.
So now we know that the
Another
show is
reason-
staged and the
I think another reason why they didn't let SpongeBob get Barnacle Boy and Mermaid Man is because they don't watch the show, so they probably don't know none of this. So when you tell somebody this, it's like, gang, these people are 45. His nose is bigger than his head, and his body shaped like a pill. and this man is built like a Pokeball. Like, bro, I can't believe the old version of him is this. Like, ew, look at this. And look at him. Like, I wouldn't say he was handsome when he was younger, but he was, bro. He was handsome. This man is chopped now. He's literally a hush puppy.
Villains are all actors. But what about Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy? Are they real superheroes or just actors with no superpowers? So it might be a dumb question to ask, but do Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy actually have superpowers? Most of their appearances come in their own episodes, so it would be pretty easy for them to fake it. Well, in the episode Mermaid Man Begins, we learn about their crazy origin story and how they got their powers. Basically, they went through a bunch of totally believable radioactive stuff that led them to becoming superheroes. But that's not their only origin story. They actually have two of them. So there's all the stuff that happened in the episode Mermaid Man Begins. But then there's a second story that's a bit more subtle.
Nah, thank you. I appreciate you for staying. Have a good day, bro.
In the episode Ditchin', the show made a comic book about the hero's origin story. Through the pictures, the book tells that the two were brothers from another planet who escaped to the Earth. Basically, the comic implies that they came into the ocean when they were kids, not adults. But this isn't the only time this story's been told. In the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2, Mermaid Man showed an image of Barnacle Boy when he was a baby. He's in the ocean, meaning this also backs them coming into the ocean as kids. In fact, in the Patrick Star Show episode Super Sitters, the two go back in time to see Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy when—
Okay, so since they got radioactive, whatever. See, this don't make any sense though. Well, nah, he's a baby, never mind. But since they got radioactive, what's it called? Exposure. Is this why they can breathe underwater, no problem?
they were babies. When they go back, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy, and the rest of the superheroes and supervillains are in Super Child Daycare, which is in the ocean. So then, what's the real story? Did they come into the ocean as adults or kids? Well, the question seems pretty tough until you realize that the answer's been right in front of us the entire time. In fact, it's something so big, so huge, I can't believe I didn't notice it before. I'm of course talking about Barnacle Boy's nose. In their older show, Barnacle Boy had a normal, human-sized—
Whoa! Hold on. I ain't never think about that. And it literally is right in front of our faces. Where his nose is a line, bro. How his nose even get that big?
nose. But then, for whatever reason, his nose became huge when he got older. And this actually reveals something massive. If Barnacle Boy had a small nose when he was younger, then why is his nose so big in the comic book? Why is it so big in this picture? It doesn't add up with what—
Oh, I'm on YouTube, gang. Live Uggs. I'm on YouTube. I'm just streaming off TikTok, and I'm recording a video right now. So like you watching the live reaction. But yeah, my YouTube is the same thing as my YouTube is the same thing as my TikTok name, Being Reacts 1. Thank you for liking the live.
Actually happened. And that's because the story of them coming into the ocean as kids is completely false. It doesn't follow what really happened, and so they probably entirely made it up. But here's a question. How did Barnacle Boy's nose—
I think this might not even be the same person. The dude that we see, the younger version of him, I don't think that's him. Because they kind of don't even look alike.
become so big? He's human.
Yeah, I'm in school. I'm in college though, so.
After all, and our noses don't grow to that size. Well, I thought it happened because of Mermaid Man's belt in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4. In the episode—
Nah, I don't play 2K.
SpongeBob got his hands on Mermaid Man's belt and used it to shrink Squidward. But before that, he'd done a bunch of other stuff to Squidward, including growing his nose. And that's probably how it happened. Mermaid Man probably hit him with the belt at some point and never reversed it. Well, that's what I thought until the episode Shuffleboarding. In the episode, SpongeBob and Patrick put the heroes in the hospital, so to make up for it, they attend a shuffleboarding competition pretending to be them. But after winning, they realize that no one's patrolling
I posted a video about what? Being in school or playing 2K.
town, so they decide to do it themselves. They go around town.
Oh. Nah, I mean, I used to play it. I don't play it now. I ain't played it in like a year.
Arresting people for the smallest of crimes. By the end of the episode, they
Hold on, let me go back.
become so big. He's human after all, and our noses don't grow to that size. Well, I thought it happened because of Mermaid Man's belt in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4. In the episode, SpongeBob got his hands on Mermaid Man's belt and used it to shrink Squidward. But before that, he'd done a bunch of other stuff to Squidward, including growing his nose. And that's probably how it happened. Mermaid Man probably hit him with the belt at some point and never reversed it. Well, that's what I thought until the episode Shuffleboarding. In the episode, SpongeBob and Patrick put the heroes in the hospital, so to make up for it, they attend a shuffleboarding competition pretending to be them. But after winning, they realize that no one's patrolling town, so they decide to do it themselves. They go around town arresting people for the smallest of crimes. By the end of the episode, they filled up the entire jail. The episode ends with everyone blaming Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy for wrongly imprisoning them. It seems like a pretty normal episode, but there's one thing that's weird. Throughout the entire show, we've never seen this costume. In the early seasons, it looked like this, and it later got changed to this, but it never looked like this. Well, this is because this costume actually came from the superheroes. It wasn't made by SpongeBob and Patrick like the other two. Barnacle Boy even said that the costume would make them a duplicate, implying that they also wear the same costume.
Now listen up. Here, take these rings. And when you touch them together, you'll be instantly transformed into our duplicates.
And this actually makes...
That is crazy. Why would they even need that? So like, do they plan on giving them to somebody else? That is crazy. So they just got these rings that got just a copy of themselves just for no reason, huh? That's crazy.
Sense. Throughout the entire episode, everyone thinks that they're Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They even end up blaming the actual superhero.
So I think the reason, because like, if we just use our eyes, we can obviously see that this is SpongeBob and Patrick, bro. They faces right here and up here. Come on, bro. But what's it called? I think when they wear the ring, they look exactly like them. Like, they need to wear the ring plus wear the costume, and they'll look exactly like them. And that's how it confuses people.
Implying that they also wear the same costume.
Now listen up. Here, take these rings. Into our...
that they're Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They even end up blaming the actual superheroes for something they didn't do. But there's just one thing that seems off about this costume. If this is meant to be a duplicate of the hero's costume, then what's up with the head? Why is their head covering something that looks exactly like their head? Well, what if that's not what their head looks like? What if someone is wearing a costume of them? In the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 6, the motion picture, we again see their costume. As Squidward is doing their makeup, he pulls back Barnacle Boy's skin. But you can hear a weird, almost rubbery sound as he does it, almost as if he's pulling on the costume and not the actual skin. In fact, their longtime rival, Man Ray, also seems to be wearing a costume. We know from the episode Man Ray Returns that Man Ray's a human, but in the episode Shuffleboarding, his head ends up in the dryer and shrinks. That would only happen if his head was a piece of clothing like a costume. So then, who's wearing the costume? Well,
Imagine being able to build anything. For any reason, in any style.
We actually don't know. They barely talk about the costumes. But we do get a hint in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5. In the episode, Barnacle Boy mentions that he's 68 years old. It may come as a surprise, but this makes no sense. In their previous episode, SpongeBob mentioned that they've been fighting crime for 65 years. And this pretty much gets confirmed in the episode Mermaid Man Begins when the narrator mentions this.
For 60 some odd years, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy have quadruple-handedly kept the sea.
That means they are at least 80. That means they at least 80. Or let's say they started fighting crime when they was like 5. That would make them like 70 something.
Free!
How can he be 68 years old when they've almost been fighting crime for the same amount of time? It's almost like the person under the costume knows nothing about the heroes. But if this truly isn't the superheroes, then how do we have moments like this?
Bro, this is CGI, bro. These are effects on the thing, bro. This whole thing is scripted, and these people, it's like actual, it's like, what's it called? They wearing a costume, bro. They wearing a costume, and they got effects on it. Cause, bro, I ain't never think about this. Like, I thought these was the people. These people we looking at were the people. He got a nose built like a cinnamon roll. Like, I just thought those was the people.
Like, if these aren't the same guys who went through all this, how did they have the superpowers? Well, there's one more thing that they've been hiding. In the episode Mermaid Man Begins, it's revealed that they were affected by radiation and that's how they got their powers. But in the episode Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5, Mermaid Man mentions something interesting.
Once you put on these costumes, their fantastic powers will become yours.
Wow, I didn't think superpowers worked that way.
Sure, powers all in the costume.
So what's the real story? Do their powers come from the suit or the radiation?
Nah, cause look, you know how people can be like, oh well, when you feel good, you play good, yada yada. Like, it's a confidence thing. Like, you know, you play better when you confident, yada yada. Or they'll be like, oh, it's all in the hips. That could mean that like they feel good wearing a costume, but they have real powers for real, or the powers are actually in the costume
that they went through. Well, technically, it's both. You gotta remember that these aren't the original superheroes. There's someone wearing a costume of them. So the original superheroes went through what they went through to get their powers. But these guys wearing the costumes use them for any powers that they need. So now we know that whoever is under the costume, it's definitely not Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. But I actually think I know who's under the costume. If you think about it, apart from the few humans, pretty much everyone else in Bikini Bottom is a fish. So it's gotta be one of them. In fact, in one of the episodes, they're making a movie on the heroes and use fish actors to play the part of the superheroes. So they could probably do something similar here. But why are there people replacing the actual superheroes? Well, it actually goes down to their show. After the original superheroes retired from the show, it obviously ended, but the creators of the show didn't want it to end. So they decided to put two guys in a costume and say that they're the original Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. This explains why Barnacle Boy said that they used to be Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy in the first episode. This also explains his nose growing like crazy. It's probably just part of the costume. It also explains all the inconsistencies surrounding the characters, like Barnacle Boy messing up his age. But why? Why would the creators of the show want to start it back up again? Well, unfortunately, we've never met them, so we'll never know. So
money, of course. Of course they doing it for money. It all makes sense. Of course they doing it for money.
It turns out Nickelodeon actually owns their show, which makes this line make a whole lot more sense.
The International Justice League of Super Acquaintances, a subsidiary of Viacom.
So why is Nickelodeon...
Basically, okay, we gon' what you call it. We finna end the video right here. Basically, what's it called? So there are a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They got real powers and all of that. Once those people retired, they had actors play as the new Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. But the actors aren't too informed with the show. So they say a lot of stuff that doesn't really make any sense, and that causes us to question the show. Okay. And another thing are the villains in the show probably retired too. And those are new actors playing them. I'm knowing. So either, because if they had real powers, why would they have fake villains? See, I just confused myself. Hey, but look, if y'all new here, make sure to subscribe. Give the video a like. You know what I'm saying?